Hey guys, Oscar here. Once again, thank you to ToxicPinHead. He has found a way not only to clip in the black market 1 in the room where you'd have to get the password, you have to go around, waste like 2 minutes to get the password, but he also has found a way to clip out of bounds in black market 2, which leads us on the ceiling, two-way collision ceiling, and skips a nice big chunk of black market 2 straight into construction. Saves around 5 minutes, and that's at the minimum. It definitely saves more time, but at the minimum it saves 5 minutes, and it's a decently risky strat. There's a lot of clip rises and tight jumps you got to do, but it saves a ton of time. So this is where it happens. So there's two ways you can get kind of out of bounds here. The first way is doing you gotta do a very nice delay jump over this left side of this gate right here, and then you'll be in between the wall and this little railing right there, and that's how you know you're out of bounds. And this is really tight too. So boom, just like that. It seemed kind of easy, but you have to do a very nice delay jump. You can either do that, or if you like, you can grapple up here. Try to land on top of this fence right here, and then try to jump around into that out of bounds. I'm gonna see if I can hit it for you just to show you. You see, it's really tight. It's like really tight pixels, and doing it the first original way um, removes this tight jump. So if you can, you want to do this, but what you'd do is you'd grapple up here, you'd stand on the fence, and then you'd try to maneuver yourself out of bounds between the wall and the railing. But here it would be much quicker during actual run, and it's a little bit more forgiving since you're removing a whole another tight pixel jump. So once you're right here, you got to be very careful, because if you go too far, you're gonna fall out of bounds, and that's pretty much like a level reset. So what you're gonna clip rise on is this railing here, but when you're rising, you want to inch yourself forward so you can go above the ceiling and land on top of the two-way ceiling collision. So what you're gonna do, and what I do, is I line myself up, do a nice delayed jump. As I'm rising, I inch forward, I'm going through, and then I jump in. Now, when you get used to this and you start running, I usually wait for one jump above the ceiling, and then I go for this right here, because you do have to load your camera. And the reason I do this is because if you try to clip rise, and as soon as you get over the ceiling, try to go, and that it's gonna mess up what orientation you have your camera. You see how far I have to go to deload, and even though I was successful right there, it messes up your orientation during a run, and it could mess up your camera angle during a run. So like you could be having your camera too far, and it resets all the way to the right here, and then it's a level reset after that. So I would suggest one jump after the clip rise, and then what you do is you kind of want to aim just like this, kind of at this angle. You see the door on the left side of the screen. You want to angle it kind of like that, and then move your camera over to the right side a little bit so you can deload, and then boom, you get through, and you land right behind this guy. Before you do the glide, you probably want to press down on your D-pad if you're on GameCube, or you're down on your left stick or right stick, I think, for PS2 and Xbox, so that when you land back in bounds, you don't trigger that guy like I just did. So boom, at the angle, door's good. I have good camera. Gonna deload the camera, let it reload. Watch out for this door too, because the door is solid and will block your way. So that's why you kind of want to do the one hop over the ceiling, and boom, just like that, you save around 2.5 minutes from getting the password and doing all the shenanigans and fighting and stuff, and that's good. So you can skip a little bit ahead during this elevator ride, if you want to just see the glitch, but yeah, very good. Um, it's really tight, as you've seen. The setup I did, where you just do a nice delayed jump over the fence, is a really nice setup, because it removes that really tight pixel jump you have to do both on the fence and off the fence. Both of it's hard, and plus you still gotta land out of bounds and do the whole clip rise and stuff. So it's good. And this next part is probably going to be one of the hardest parts of the black market skip. So boom, once you're at the elevator, We're gonna go forward here. I'm gonna use the couch right here to clip out of bounds. And so what you do is you want to make sure you jump into this snug right here, and keep in mind I'm holding forward right now, and you see I'm not going anywhere, and there's a nice window ceiling here, which is like blocked, which is like invisible collision. And keep this in mind when we go out of bounds too, because we gotta cut straight into this window collision here to clip rise above on the ceiling. All right, so once you get in here, you want to snug yourself, and then you want to face away like this, have your back towards the window, and then you're going to roll 2 times to the right, and on the second time you're going to pop back, you're going to pop out of bounds, and then you want to try to cut yourself into this window here to land, and you can land in the window once you're out of bounds for, you know, like a nice little breather, and a clip rise to get on the ceiling. This is really hard. Like I said, this is going to take some muscle memory to get used to, because if you fail this, you can reload from checkpoint, but you know, you got to take the load time to account. It's like 30 seconds every time. So 1, 2, I'm out. And you want to line yourself up inside the window collision like I did. See, I messed up, but it's better to mess up back in bounds than fall infinitely out of bounds, right? So 1, 2, boom, there we go. And see, I'm now in out of bounds still, on the window, and this is good. And so what I can do is I can just jump here, and I'll start clip rising. And now keep in mind here, once I get high enough, it's going to want to push me. You see how it's kind of pushing me? And it's going to mess you up during a run, because it might push you a little bit far. And remember, you got to account for the drift. So once you get around here, what you want to do is you want to inch forward and then jump into the on top of the ceiling, if that makes sense. So boom, jump into and on top of the ceiling. So good. And then from here, we can go around. You can glide here for a little bit of quicker movement. Watch out for the ceilings here. Watch out for these little gaps right here, because you can fall through and back in bounds. So 1, 2, and then 3. Last block. And then right here, what I do to get on top of the ceiling, it's very tricky if you don't do this little setup I found here. You can do it however you want, but you got to remember there's levels on the ceiling now that you're above, so you have to watch for that, because if you hit it the wrong way, you can't pop back in bounds. And this is a crucial place to pop back in bounds, because you still got to sit through like a minute-long cutscene of like these guys talking. You got to fight them and stuff, and it's like RNG whether or not they hit you really good. So I aim for this camera here, and then I wait for a nice jump from this automatic jumping into a double jump delay, and then I glide in. So watch, boom, boom, and then I glide in. That's good. And then I double jump, and that's good. That's a nice little breather. And now for here, you want to inch yourself up down here on this ceiling right here, close to the door. And you want to load this room. And now I loaded this room pretty quickly. But if you don't have this room loaded like quickly like I did, you want to move your camera around and like on this part of the ceiling. And when you move it around enough, you'll either get like a loading screen where it'll show like the bat symbol on the bottom right and it's loading, or the room will pop in like this. Now, once you're on this, what I do is I go back up one more ceiling, boom, just like this, and then I jump over. Because if you try to mess with like the little bumps and stuff like right here, some people will try to use that ceiling. It's gonna mess you up, and it's just not a good time. So pretty much after this, everything is pretty much smooth sailing. We want to go over here along this hallway. Here's another little climbing danger zone you want to be wary about, but you want to jump over that gap, and you have a nice space here to work with. And now you see where my camera's facing, right? You see how the ceiling has it's like building up, so you have to account for that. So I'm gonna go forward, watch for that ceiling. Now I gotta do a nice delay. Gonna spam jump once I'm on the delay to make sure. And now that's good. And now no more ceiling climbs. And now we go along this hallway. And now right here, you see where this like very bright light meets the dark out of bounds background. We wanna delay, double jump, glide there. And once you start seeing the door, you kind of want to glide a little bit to the right side so you're not hitting. Like there's furniture collision that could like block your way back in bounds. So boom, gonna wait for a nice delay. There we go. I see the door, gonna inch to the right a little. Great. Make sure you're in crouching before you glide or while you're gliding. So, because if you are standing and you land here, this guy's going to trigger and you have to do a whole fight. It's going to waste time. And boom, just like that, we skip a nice big ass portion, pretty much the whole entirety of Black Market. And it's good, but one more thing before you go through this door, the next room is deloaded right now, so you have to reload it. So after you're done interrogating this guy, we're gonna hit a trigger that loads that room, and then you'll continue on to construction on this level. Boom. And then I go right here, right? I inch forward so I can jump, and then I jump on this wood. Good. And then I do a nice delayed jump into this corner here. And what that's going to do is that's going to load this room right here. And now you can go and continue, and it's a nice 5 minute at the minimum. It definitely saves more, but at the minimum, this saves 5 minutes. Once again, thank you, ToxicPinHead. This is looking good. We're getting it lower and lower, guys. Stay tuned.